So yeah, you've got 60, 65 degree weather and
Hmm.
craziness.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's actually a little chillier today. What is it? Right now, we're in the 40s, I believe.
Well, that's not
It's-
awful, but
no.
still for January that's a little
Yeah, well,
still a little warm.
43, or 40s, or 50s, that should be our high. And then at night, we should be dipping down to just below freezing.
Right.
Almost, yeah, that's it. And in February, it gets a little bit colder, and then we have a fake spring, a freeze, and
Right.
then real spring.
Yeah. Well, last year we had we had like what was it? 2 feet, a foot, 2 foot of snow on
Yeah,
Easter.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
Oh,
I'm fairly certain that winter's not done with us yet.
oh, I hear you. I'd be a lot happier with a seasonal shift than, just doing away with winter. But
Right. Right.
yeah,
Well, it's so funny because you listen to the local weathercasters, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is uncharacteristic. It being this cold, it's uncharacteristic for this time of year." Like, uncharacteristic for who? Where are you from? Because
yeah,
if you were from here, you would know that this is perfectly normal.
right. Yeah, this we're not having a normal weather, but the jet streams have changed, and so I do expect a lot of people experiencing new things.
Yeah. Well, this whole bomb cyclone thing, that's new.
Yeah, that was real new. I've heard people talk about that this was they've been hearing about these things for years, but I've never heard about bomb cyclones.
I never
Uh,
heard about one or experienced one until last year when the country got hit by one.
yeah,
So
and now we get one every year at least.
yeah, right. I mean, is that going to be
Yeah.
the new meteorological buzzword? Is
Wow.
bomb cyclone?
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. But if they're going to do it, though, if they're going to name a weather event, they should do something that you can talk about it without getting in Facebook jail. And you go
Right.
play with the bomb word too many times, and they're going to shut your account down.
Right.
Uh, yeah.
That's true. That is true. That's because Facebook is stupid.
Yeah. I hear you. It has its uses. I mean, it's what you make out of it, but it's a chaotic place. The
Yeah.
Yeah, the IRC networks are chaotic, and they're hacking your ass there.
Right.
So yeah, so I mean it's not as bad as that.
Yeah, but at least with the old IRC networks, you didn't have. I mean, it wasn't so glaring like the random Joes that you see on Facebook. The thing that Facebook has really, and Twitter really for that matter, has really brought to light is how low the IQ is of the general population of this country. Like,
Yeah.
it,
Yes,
I
I
mean,
agree.
you look at it and you're like, how is it that you are that dumb? I don't understand. I mean, how did you not? How are you still here? How did you not accidentally, fall into a hole and
Well,
break your
yeah.
neck? I don't.
Well,
I don't
Facebook, your
understand.
intelligence is measured by your ability to spell and use proper grammar, not your idea of
Oh,
having
oh
deep
no,
No,
thoughts.
no.
no, no. I've read some of their deep thoughts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm like the deep thoughts. They don't have that, but they spell it all correctly, and, and
Thanks
so
to
therefore there's
autocorrect.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
Uh,
man,
I like
I
this
can't,
map.
thank you. Yeah,
except for that red line through it.
I got I did a pro subscription to Incarnate
Mm.
because I've discovered that Incarnate is really good for doing overland maps and in a lot of cases some of the dungeon maps that I'm doing for the new book series that I'm writing, and I saw what they could do with just overland maps, and I was like, "Oh, I have to get this." And they're inexpensive, so like. When I got the commercial license for Dungeon Fog, it was like $100 for a year.
Hmm.
Incarnate's like $5 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, man, well. But there is some stuff. It's weird because there's some stuff that Incarnate doesn't do that Dungeon Fog does, and then there's stuff that Dungeon Fog
Wow.
doesn't do that Incarnate does. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll use them both.
Well, that's
Yeah.
still 160 a year. I mean,
I know, right?
yeah,
Just for map
for
making
both.
software.
Yeah.
But if you are writing RPG adventures, especially if they are of the fantasy variety, if you don't have map making software, you're kind of boned.
Hmm.
And I mean, or you're talented enough that you can do this shit by hand, and I'm not. I cannot.
Oh,
I,
yeah,
No.
no doubt.
Yeah, just doing the backgrounds and the colorations for the ocean is
right. Yeah. Well, and I mean, during all the little mountains and the trees, I look at some of these people that are capable of doing it. I'm in awe because when I try to do it, I look like I have two left hands.
great. I'll be right back. I gotta go feed the doggy.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, I did all the little groups that have the Incarnate and stuff. I don't know if they still do, but there was like an ongoing argument on how natural waterways.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. Because people were like, "Hey, look at my map," and the ongoing joke is if you put water on the map, we would all go. Because I had Incarnate for a while. I quit paying, but that everyone would go, oh, that pond is unnatural.
Oh, jeez.
The water's not right. It was just an on-running joke that you couldn't post anything without 500 people joking about your waterways.
Yeah.
Yeah. This waterway is simple. It's water takes the path of least resistance,
Yeah,
whether
it
it makes
starts-
sense to you or not.
It starts at the top and it moves to the bottom. It's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
And if there's a bowl at the bottom, it will collect.
Yeah. It has a lot to it. I did landscaping and stuff for several years, so playing with water and controlling water and directing water or funneling water out. I've got several years experience playing with that.
Yeah. Hello, Cameron and Devin.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
I see y'all have candy.
I do.
Yeah. Jealous.
Rated the kids.
And backgrounds. Oh.
This is an IKEA wardrobe, the cheap one.
Nice.
Yeah, that was like $9, I think, back then. With a piece of fabric over it. And this is a Zolly Pop, the xylitol clean teeth candy. So don't get too jealous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, she told me it was healthy. I don't want it.
Yeah, no.
yeah. My teeth suck, so I like these. They help.
I hear you.
All right. So I still haven't heard anything from Carrie. I suppose I should ask Rexar if he's going to join us. Yeah, it's like this is the first full week back, and post holiday, and feeling a bit sluggish. Like New Year's was New Year's that was too strong. We went to the VFW for their for their little holiday bash. We were invited, and so we went with our friends John and Shannon, and it was a really good time. Cheap drinks, heavy pour, and luckily John was our designated driver, and so I honestly don't know how much we drank. I know that I know how much it cost. but I have no idea how much that really was.
Our neighbors wanted to celebrate 8:45, and then they set off more fireworks at like 10:15, and then I passed out, and I was told that at midnight they set off a whole bunch, but I slept through it like a champ.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. I went to bed like an old person and woke up in a new year. So
Well, that works.
yeah.
Yeah, I passed out pretty early, so.
Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations.
I stayed up with the kids and kept them happy.
They made it after surprise. They
Yeah.
outlasted me completely.
Yeah, we got home and we were just crappy, and I had a couple more drinks. So so yeah, good times. So Corey says he's matching his email to password, and so he should be with us here shortly. Let's see. I will go ahead and bring us in. Welcome to the Pirates of Drinax. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. These guys, I think the decision. Well, you guys are going to take a week to really think on it, but I think the overall decision was you're just going to do a full frontal assault on Baron Halley's fortress and kind of remove him from the board. But before we get started, let's go ahead and thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. Fable Beard Company makes wonderful beard products such as oils, balms, butters, co-wash, beard wash. They have a small line of deodorants. They've got spray-on cologne. Each of their scent profiles is a different fantasy character. Tonight I'm wearing one of the holiday scents. It's Jack Frost, which has a scent of pine and cedar with a peppermint splash to it. Feels quite nice, and I wish they would sell this year-round. But if that's not to your liking, I'm sure they have one that you will like. If you're a first-time customer, you can go to fablebeardco.com, and you can create an account. And when you put after you create your account, you can put 2 beard oils into your cart, and if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters, you'll get that second beard oil for free. So check them out. If you're a fan of our Traveler game, we do have a website via Obsidian Portal. That will be in the comment section down below or in the description of the video. And the adventure log is written in the manner of news service articles, generally from Traveler News Service. And these guys are starting to take more and more of a front page type notice. They are kind of technically right now number one enemy of the Imperium in the Trojan Reach. They are, and so they're actually operating under assumed identities. In fact, they're not even using the Harrier right now. They're using another ship. It's a heavily modified Empress Marava because Harrier is unique enough that even if it has a different registry and looks different, they're going to get stopped by every Imperial patrol that they run across. So, yeah, they've gotten some attention. But if you like the page, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We do like to see the fan likes, and we hope you enjoy. So, you guys have had a week to think on this. Now, like I said last week, so Baroness Lux, who's kind of the architect of this entire little civil war, she didn't really want, so she didn't want one of the barons to be missing, and so her idea is that because if you take one of the 3 out of the equation, then that leaves you with a polarized rule of the world. She doesn't want to deal with that. That causes problems in and of itself. She just wanted herself to be on top. And so far, politically, and as far as the Imperium is concerned, because of her attempts, in air quotes, attempts at diplomacy, she has more social media credit than anybody else. But the Civil War has dragged on to the point where it's even starting to draw her forces in, and her forces, rather than just doing police keeping actions, they are actually now in a full-on shooting war with both Halley and Pharaoh. Now, you guys called a peace conference, and Halley basically told you to kick rocks. Pharaoh showed up, and one of the ideas that was put on the table was to take Halley out and install Drinax as the third Baron, which is, I'm not quite sure how that would work, because you're also wanting Corden to essentially join Drinax. I suppose it could work, but that was your idea. Now, you are told that doing a full assault on Halley's fortress is that's no joke. That's going to be a bit of the ultra violence. So, I mean, they're going to be heavily fortified, and I mean, you guys have battle dress, so
we also have missiles.
Yeah, but you don't have the Harrier. So let me.
The Shenanigans has missiles.
Does she?
Believe so.
We'll check that.
I think she has a double turret, if I remember correctly.
I don't want to blow that place up, because I thought part of like what was made this such a good deal was they get 2 fortresses.
No.
So, I mean, it's gonna be kind of fucked up, but not exploded, hopefully.
So yeah, it's got a missile rack it's got a double turret that has a missile rack and a sandcaster. So it has one missile rack. So there's that. That could work. But I mean, these are, like I said, these are heavily fortified fortresses. The lower portions are essentially bomb shelters. So I'm not sure that really. I mean, missiles are gonna, it'll take out there's Rexar. It'll take out their defensive turrets and whatnot, and you might be able to clear much of the surrounding area. But as far as really doing much damage to the fortress itself, it's going to be mostly cosmetic.
Okay.
The other option, besides taking over the fortress, is to lay siege to it.
True.
No food goes in. Eventually, people either, eat each other up or give up.
That could take a very long time.
Yeah, and I don't really want to spend a long time here.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be easier just to go with Plan A, shoot them up with missiles, and then drop in battle dress. I mean, at least 2 of you have PGMPs. These guys, you guys, the 5 of you really outgun most of their forces. Rexar cannot hear the Skype call.
Oh.
It has to be on your end because the rest of us are working.
We could also, in theory, take over, go fuck up a little group of Halley's forces and take their little uniforms or whatever, and kind of sneak in and that. But then we're less armed if we go in dressed as them. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you disguise yourselves, you're gonna have less armor. You're gonna have less weaponry. So what you are told about Halley's Fortress that this map doesn't really show you is that Halley's Fortress is really built kind of into a small mountainside, and there is, of course, entrances at the top, which the 3rd floor of this fortress is really set up to be like a small landing pad usually for air raft, but I think you can pretty much guess that there's at least a landing pad for up to 400-ton craft, just like your fortress has. But the secondary entrance, which is mostly only ever used by sweet, he got it fixed. Which is mostly ever used by his troops, is at the bottom. And so there is a bunker at the base of this little mountainside that leads into the substructure of the fortress. And they know that they don't know the layout. They know where the bunker is. It's not like it's any. All they have to do is watch with a satellite feed, and they can see people coming in and out. They don't know the layout inside, though, but they suspect that that's probably where the military communications and hub is, and then, of course, from that area, it goes up into the main fortress itself, probably through an elevator shaft.
So one option would be to surround the bunker with forces and go in from the top ourselves. And then they can't escape. We can force them out as best we can and just clean it out.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
It's going to be hard.
Well, yeah. It everywhere. What else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Don't they have those like little armored cannon cars or whatever?
Oh yeah. I mean, they've got the what are those? The
They're gonna blow up our brand new air raft.
There it is.
Well, we could land on top using our shenanigans.
Right. Yeah. They've got some armored vehicles, of course, and of course Lux's forces have those as well, and probably well, we can see how much Pharaoh's forces actually can deal with Halley paramilitary here in just a moment. And we can see, Pharaoh's military along with Lux's forces can then go ahead and lay siege to the fortress, giving you guys the ability to shoot your ways in, Guns of Navarone style. So yeah, let's see what we can do. What is left on the map here? I need. So for this first town. No, I said. I guess that was. Oh, there it is. 8. Okay, so Pharaoh's forces here did not make it. What's it? They did. So then. Shit. Pharaoh's forces didn't make it there either. Lux. Ooh, well, that was pretty good. That worked. Down here. Huh. All right. And then up here. That's not good. And last one. Okay. So, from these battles, this is what is left. Excuse me. So these forces are still engaged. And this is starting to look more and more like a risk map. All right, so you've got 4 units of Lux's forces and 2 units of Ferris forces kind of converging on Halley's baronial fortress there. And, of course, you know, laying siege to... There's a couple of small towns around this fortress, and laying siege to the fortress itself, kind of engaging in Halley's paramilitary forces that he has at his fortress. Now, how would you guys like to make your entrance?
The landing on top thing sounded like pretty badass, I gotta say.
That is probably the least of your options, because of course that landing pad is going to be the most heavily guarded portion of the castle, with multiple rocket launch or missile launchers.
Yep.
And
We gotta come in blazing. We gotta attack all of the turrets and guns that they're gonna have on the top of their system, so that we have a lot to take out before we can even get to the pad.
Yeah, and that's why it was recommended going in through the bunker, because I mean the landing pad itself is just going to be a nightmare.
I think we could come in at night with the air raft and just kind of land right next to the bunker entrance and try to make entry there.
You could do it that way, yeah.
I want to try that. If they have a computer automated, thing, we could probably hack that and just have them open up for us if good rolls.
Well, they are flooding the area with jamming, so you'll have to break through that first.
I guess they got their own power source inside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have everything buttoned down tight with all those forces moving in on them.
Oh yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Of course, with the new turn of events, with all those forces being decimated, maybe they would be open for negotiations now.
That is true. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, you could try putting out the call for, for sanity.
That's always our strong point is
sanity. Yes. Yes, you guys are excellent at the whole sanity routine.
Yeah.
So did you want to try and do a communications thing to get through the jamming and be like, okay, now do you want to negotiate now that your shit's been knocked?
We can give it a shot.
Yeah, go ahead and make a electronics, comms plus intellect or education check.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and take my time to get a +2.
Okay.
Since I'm not rushed, if that's okay.
Sure.
There we go, 14.
All right. So, yeah, you're able to cut through the fog and make contact. What do you guys? What's your proposal?
To surrender and come to the peace to accept a ceasefire and come to the table for talks, or be removed from the equation.
That's pretty good. Who wants to make the? Does anybody have diplomacy?
Let me look what I got.
I have diplomat 1.
There you go. So make a diplomat plus social or diplomat plus. I suppose it could be a diplomat plus intellect check, since this is most certainly a tactical move.
Okay. 11.
Okay. So, Halley agrees to come to Baroness Lux's fortress to sit in on a peace talk. He can kind of see the writing on the wall at this point. His paramilitary forces have not done quite as well as he had hoped. And a lot of that has to do with the additional peacekeeping forces of Baroness Lux. And so he's not entirely happy with her either. But so he says that tomorrow he's going to arrive. And, he and his staff will be there tomorrow at, 1200 hours.
Okay.
Are you going to do anything in preparation for his arrival?
I will shower.
Oh,
polite.
okay.
Sharpen the axe.
Sharpen the axe.
Sharpen the axe.
Yeah, and you guys are still in your Sandalian dress uniforms too.
I'm gonna battle dress up.
You're just gonna. Well, it's a peace conference. Well, I'm just gonna wear battle dress.
Well,
Nothing's
no,
more
I mean,
peaceful than that.
I won't have arm. I won't be necessarily armed, but I mean, when he comes and sits down to see, 3, 4, 5 people in full battle dress, knowing that, God, those are people who are really hard to kill, and that's like
true.
a show of force.
Yeah, so
type thing.
more
Maybe
like
parks. Yeah,
more like
parks-
gunboat diplomacy.
Yeah, park shenanigans over in the area, and maybe that gives the captain a chance to go, man, we'll just sit back and shoot missile after missile at your stupid fucking fortress until we feel like coming in and sorting through the trash.
Okay.
Sorry, you go.
He might be desperate. People who are desperate do crazy things, so it's not totally a bad idea to be prepared for shit going sideways.
That's true too.
In Rexar's defense, it'd be weird if he wasn't armed to the teeth.
That's true. Rexar's always got at least something, usually bladed, on him. Okay. Ox, do you have anything to throw in for this?
Well, I don't think we want to show the battle dress that publicly, just because we don't want to draw the Imperium in by us using, technology that's not appropriate to the planet. Obviously, then somebody's intervening.
That's a good point.
And we don't want them to counter-intervene.
That's true. And remember, the Imperium does have a stake in this, in that Corden is kind of, for lack of a better term, for the Imperium, Corden is kind of the gateway to the Trojan Reach, because it is the easiest route to get from Tobiah into Trojan Reach and access to the Aslan Harate, where, billions of credits are exchanged, in trade. So Corden's kind of important to them. They have an embassy at the Corden starport. Fairly toothless in this situation, although they had a much bigger bark than their bite. They did threaten. They closed the Corden starport to ground traffic, but the embassy, basically delivered a stern warning and said, "You guys better stop fighting, or else, our troops are going to have to get involved." But they don't have enough troops to do that. They have enough troops to barely protect their embassy. So, everybody knew that was bullshit when they said it. So there's that.
Could we send a message to our boy that's training and kind of inform him that the troops have been severely softened up on Halley's northern towns, and they might be prime for raiding? Just don't leave any markers or anything.
That's a possibility too. Yeah, if that could be a good training exercise for your troops.
I'm just throwing brainstorms. That's all I'm doing. But if we have raiders, and
I'll wear the dress uniform to exude confidence, but everybody else can wear whatever they want. It's fine.
Yeah, right now, Captain Beth is the most visual representation of the kingdom of Drinax. I mean, you guys being here is a visual representation. Now, and I don't remember. Are you guys using your pirate identities, or are you using your assumed identities? I know that you've got shenanigans because you didn't want to draw attention, but it really depends on
Are assumed identities Drinax diplomats? Like, I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah, what are our assumed identities? Have we discussed this at all?
We haven't
They're
really discussed it. They are basically, entirely fictitious people that have been implanted into the system. So
will be Drinax diplomats, and that'd be smarter to do for a while, because I know we're like extremely wanted.
yeah, you are extremely wanted. Now, so wow, this is I haven't really. It's interesting that you bring that up because I hadn't really considered this. So the one thing that all of you can do is you can add. I would say you can add 1 to your social.
Yay.
And because the social characteristic is so nebulous, that's not necessarily. This is for your real identities, and that's this +1 to your social isn't necessarily a good thing, because it basically represents your notoriety. So whatever your social is now, your new assumed identities don't have that social rating, and you would have to roll 3d6 to determine your new identity's social rating.
3d6, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that right? 3d6? Am I doing that right? Hold on.
No, it's 2d6.
It's 2d6. I'm sorry.
But I'll take it.
Sorry, I was playing the wrong game again.
Okay, I'll write like a temporary social in here. Oh, not too bad.
So I'm at 10.
Potentially, you might end up rolling better than your current character.
It's 7.
My 5 is not better than my current character.
Just write it up. That's where I wrote my temporary one. Yeah, I think you'll remember. Because we're probably going to be done with them after today, I bet.
So these assumed identities. This is the social standing for these assumed identities. Now, essentially, what I'm assuming that it's going to be lower than your real identities. Like I said, it's entirely possible that's not the case. But a couple of things. So if it is lower, you guys are. The only thing that you've got really going for you is the fact that you are representatives of Drinax, and you've got, the paperwork to cover that. Rexar, you get no benefit from your territory because nobody knows who you are. You're just some Aslan.
Rexar wasn't going to hide his identity. That would be dishonorable.
Okay, well then, here's the thing though. If Rexar doesn't hide his identity, it's kind of like the stupid 5th edition rule about surprise. Is that there's no such thing as a surprise round, but if one person isn't surprised, then nobody's surprised because they're not going to keep the mouth shut. So if you're not going to use your assumed identity, there would really be no reason for Rexar to be traipsing around with a bunch of nobodies, and it's not going to take too many lines of connecting the dots to figure out who everybody else is.
Okay, Rexar will use a secret identity.
So you wouldn't get any benefit from your territory. In fact, for your assumed identity, it's assumed that your territory is 0.
Oh.
I mean, you know that that's not really true, but this assumed identity has no clout, which I can imagine.
Makes fun of Rexar for no territory.
Well, I can imagine a male Aslan trying to roleplay this That would be impossible. It just simply couldn't happen. They're not going to be able to pretend to be so much less than they truly are. So yeah, that should be amusing.
Let's just
Pray
give
no
him.
one asks. If no one asks, he'll be fine. But if someone brings it up, like, hey, you have no territory, he's gonna be like, actually.
Actually, yes.
To distract Rexar until the talks are over, so we need like a laser
You
pointer.
need a laser
That's what I was
pointer and a ball of yarn.
and
You're just an Aslan with no territory, and like as he opens his mouth, the captain whips out the laser pointer, and he's like, "Ooh."
Aslan
My new
stunned.
name is. Well, my new name is Jug Jug, spelled Jug Gug. It's a play on how people mispronounce GIF, and
There you go.
All
yeah, and so that will be that I will identify myself as Jug Jug.
All right. So Beth's going to be in dress uniform. Anybody else? Or are you going for your honor guard kind of situation? This is what Drinax can present. Which the reality is, I think Ox is right on this. So if you were to present yourselves as the forces of Drinax, so Drinax does have access to battle dress. We know this. They're Hawk Warriors. The King Oleb's honor guard. They're all battle dress bound. They have access to some fairly high technology. The reality of it is that most of that stuff is extreme aged. It's been sitting around for a while because they don't have the ships to really, raid anybody. That's why they hired you. So, you might be giving it away because a lot of the stuff that you have, it might be a couple of years old, but a lot of it is essentially Imperial surplus. So
Mine came from Drinax itself. I ordered my armor.
right, you actually do have Drinax armor. So did Ching Shi. Both the two of you do actually have Drinax armor, but like Beth's and Rex are
Mine was nondescript, bought on the black market through the friend on the pirate base.
right, which means
Rexar found his on a plant ship.
Right. So yeah, that's true. That's true. You did. Ox, yours is probably Imperial surplus. I would imagine that Keith's is probably Imperial surplus. So
Yeah, I got mine at the same time as Ox did, I believe.
right. So yeah.
Mine does say Private Jones, Imperial Navy.
It still has the guy's name attached to it. Oh, I forgot to take this magnet off. Hold on. So all the serial numbers are filed off. So yeah, I mean Ox has a really good point. And you guys, it wouldn't so much be a situation of you guys presenting a tech level higher than the world. I don't think that's too much because I mean obviously you were outside forces, especially if you're here representing Drinax, but I mean you. So I guess my question is, if you want to go that route, and then the question really is how Beth wants to present it, because of course Halley is going to. And it's going to come up overall for the peace conference. What is Drinax's interest? Why would Drinax be here, getting involved in this petty war? And
You want the planet to join the alliance.
right, and you want them to join the alliance, but I mean the real answer to that is that you want them to knock it the fuck off so that they can actually start pumping food over to Tech World.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, then the question, of course, would be, are you going to bring that up, and which will inform Halley and Pharaoh, I mean, and Lux for that matter, that Drinax apparently has a vested interest in Tech World.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
They're gonna join our side or they're gonna get fucking killed. That's how it is at this point. So I'm not really scared of them knowing stuff.
Okay. So, Halley. So back to my original question. I mean, Beth is in dress uniform. Rexar, what are you wearing? What are you wearing to the party? Who are you wearing?
If he forgot to wash off his armor, that one
Yes.
power armor guy that he was axing.
Yes.
But
you were axing him a question.
yeah, probably battle dress with the axe and the new gun.
Okay. Keith, what are you going as this Halloween?
I want to look official Sindalian armor. I mean, sorry, dress uniform. So I'm going to have my Sindalian officer sword and everything. I'll be dressed to the nines.
Okay. What about Tang?
I will put a little temporary nameplate on my battle dress that says Jug Jug, and I will be out to greet Halley
So
as he comes in. Well, I want to scan them and make sure they're not sneaking anything in, and my battle dress has scanning capabilities.
That's true.
So,
it does. You can scan for weapons and things like that.
yeah.
And Ox, what is your plan?
I am your typical Varg in black. I'm looking like a middle-level secretary to one of these guys. I'm nobody important. Don't put me on your wanted list. I just work for them.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So
yeah, I'm a born criminal. I keep a low profile.
Okay.
We don't want to be on no wanted list.
Actually, as a Vargur, wearing black probably makes you stand out. Because Vargur are, because of their color blindness.
Right, colorful.
Yeah, you're
right.
probably, it would probably be the other direction. You'd just be wearing, this kaleidoscope.
I put Liberace to shame.
Yes,
right.
This kaleidoscope of pastels.
Like I said, I'm just a middle-level functionary here to help these people.
Okay. So, Halley shows up. Pharaoh has already been staying at Lux's fortress, kind of throughout this military action, and because he originally showed up for the peace conference, and Pharaoh shows up. So Ting, you can make an electronic sensors plus intellect or education check, and with your battle dress, I want. I want to say it's going to give you a +2 off the top of my head, but let me double check that real quick. Come on. Why can't my stuff just work?
It's on page 13 of the Central Supply Catalog. Nope, that's a different thing. Sorry.
No problem. Nope.
This is on page 33.
Yes. 33. It says...
The Combat Pioneer Battle Dress.
So you've got backpack-mounted power tools, including drill shovels, decontamination equipment. It can self-decontaminate, and it has a specialist sensor package designed to detect explosives and other hazards. Okay, so I am going to say that will give you a +2 to your electronic sensors check.
I got an 11.
All right. So you do detect that one of the guys. Halley shows up with 2 aides, and they're dressed fairly normal. They're not wearing any special armor or anything like that. They're wearing, just the black frog suits, like the collarless suits, kind of thing. One of them is carrying a body pistol.
I will excuse me, but you will have to turn in your body pistol in order to go to the negotiations. This is an unarmed event, and it is improper for you to bring the body pistol into the event. Or you can stay with the vehicle.
That's pretty straightforward. Go ahead and make a persuasion plus intellect check.
All right. This will be +2. Eight.
That still gets it. He gives you a little bit of gruff, like I don't know what you're talking about. And but Baron Halley turns to him and says, "It's all right, Willem. Just go back to the vehicle, stay with the car, and we'll be out shortly, or I'll call to you."
I assure you all, you're under the protection of the Drinax Empire while you're here at this meeting. We will ensure you're safe sitting at the table, the safe negotiations, and a safe return to your vehicle, because we are the only party here not actively involved in the war.
That is a very good point. So the doors open into this semicircular conference chamber, and Beth, Keith, Ox, you're already there. Rexar, are you standing behind the captain? Are you sitting at the table? I don't know that. In your battle dress, I don't know that they have a chair that's going to hold you.
Thanks. He knew he was fat before, but he wasn't self-conscious about it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to body shame Rexar.
Probably just behind to the right of the captain.
Okay. So you guys are seated at one end of the table. Baroness Lux, of course, has her main seat, and Baron Pharaoh and his aide are sitting there as Halley, and he arrives now with only one aide, as Ting kind of put the kibosh on that. And they come in and take their seat, and of course there's a holo projector in the middle of this conference table, and Baroness Lux starts out by addressing everybody in the room. Thank you very much for arriving for this much needed peace conference. We must bring peace and prosperity back to Corden. And she she looks at Halley and Pharaoh and she says, "Now, I personally am completely ashamed of your behavior and your actions towards one another with these border skirmishes that has turned our planet into an outright war zone. I can't believe that you would do such a thing." She says, "But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to discuss an end to hostilities and a proposal to redraw the borders of the territories to more accurately reflect the current situation and our power base moving forward." She says, "It has been proposed that Corden join the Kingdom of Drinax in their attempt to rebuild their kingdom." She says, and of course, once the peace treaty is signed, we can discuss that. But she says, "I feel strongly that this is a good route towards the prosperous rebuilding of our world. Something that we can finally say that we don't have to be under the yoke of the Third Imperium." And she turns to Captain Beth and she says, "Captain, what is your proposal?" So,
to be clear, isn't our proposal that we take over the third position now?
Well,
No, not anymore.
Yeah,
Not anymore?
that was kind of the idea that you would take over the third position if you just eliminated Baron Halley completely.
Yeah, but we're not like inviting him back. I thought this was a chance for him to like fuck off or get murdered. Like,
I mean,
really?
I mean, you're the captain. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, if you say the word, I'll punch that dude in the face. I'm just saying.
I'm basically gonna say like, look, kind of sucks that you lost. Where do you want to go from here? Because it looks like your position on the planet of Corden is no longer needed.
You're
I mean,
fired. Would you like a severance package?
Yeah. You need a box for your shit that you walk out of the fortress, or how do you want to do this, sir?
So Halley is essentially slack-jawed at your proposal, and he says, "Well, this is preposterous." And he looks at Pharaoh and at Lux, and he says, "This isn't a peace conference. You're trying to squeeze me out."
Not trying.
Yeah, you squeezed you out when you
Yeah.
lost all of your skirmishes.
Yeah.
This is just, a formal figuring out what to do with the rubble of everything that you messed up kind of situation.
He stands up and says, "I will not stand here and listen to another word of this. This is preposterous." And
I'll put my hand on his shoulder and kind of push him back down.
with your +4 to strength. You push him back down into his chair, and he says, he says, "So I suppose this is how it's going to be. I either do this or what? You'll kill me."
We can kill you, or we can drop you off on this planet called Paradise that's filled with
fantasy.
Fantasy. It's filled with mentally incapacitated people. Like, it's up to you.
But they're really pretty.
Yeah, they're gorgeous, but
The whole planet. Really good looking people. Why are the pretty ones so dumb?
you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Right? It's not just anymore. Shit, that doesn't work. Okay.
I mean, yeah, we could offer to relocate him to a planet he could flourish at.
If we want, yeah.
Yeah.
There.
How does he feel about pirating?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
Fuck up. I don't know if we want this one.
No, probably not.
Yeah, he's not going to be good at pirating. He is. I mean, all three of these people are essentially born. Well, they're born nobles, but I was going to say born politicians, but I wouldn't even necessarily say they're good at that. They're born with a silver spoon in their mouth for sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're really good at anything. I would, out of all three of them, Baron Halley is probably the most forward thinking in that he may not have had as large of a military force, but he made sure to hire the guys that were really good comparatively. Because he had hired the paramilitary guys that were mercenary trained and whatnot.
He just had a bad run of. He had a run of luck. But we can either do this the easy way or the hard way, is what this is, boiling down to. So he can think on it for a minute.
We could probably finagle him a nice place in Tech World, where he could, have an opportunity to flourish or complain. Whatever.
Yeah, start over and not be like a failure like he was here. There's lots of things.
Yeah. Hey, Beth, make a diplomat plus intellect check.
Eight.
He says, "I have." So if this is My only option, I have a counter proposal.
Mm.
I'm
He says,
listening.
I propose that if I'm not going to be able to stay on the planet of my birth, I'm essentially being exiled, then I want a position in the court of Drinax.
Hey.
Sure. Yeah,
Bad.
that sounds great. We'll give him all that. We'll kill his ass on the way there. I mean,
You know what he could do? He could be like the diplomatic representative from Corden on Drinax, couldn't he?
Yeah?
Why
That's
not?
actually a really good idea.
that is a good idea, and it's relatively nonviolent. I'm kind of against it just because of the.
Just on a
I
matter
know.
of principle.
I thought
Yeah.
some shit was gonna go down, but nope, that sounds like a good idea to me.
Mhm. Where
You
he
can't
could, yeah,
much
he could
trouble.
probably have a place in the palace, the floating palace.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds great until you get there.
Are the other barons gonna be like jealous and bitchy, or are they fine with it?
Now, I mean, Pharaoh's certainly not jealous or bitchy. I mean, getting somebody moved into a ambassadorial position is a time-honored intelligence kind of
Yeah.
move. I mean, the CIA's been doing that shit for years. And so, if you don't necessarily have to kill the guy, you can remove all of his power by taking him out of the country and giving him a quote unquote important position somewhere else that isn't important. And so you've essentially basically done better than killing it. And it's really, I mean, once he is removed, um, there's next to no possibility of him coming back and at some point in the future and rebuilding his forces. I mean, stranger things have happened in the Trojan Reach, but that effectively neuters him. So
It's actually a good deal for him. Look at I mean, he's going from tech level 8 to
Yeah.
max tech level. He's going to have all the creature comforts you could ever imagine.
That's true. I mean, the floating palace isn't quite as glamorous as it sounds, but at least they have tech level 14. So
We could
Sure.
offer that he could keep 75% of his net worth, or what he has, as far as his on-hand cash. He could keep 75% of that to
yeah,
set himself up with on Dre. I think the other 25% kind of,
pay
needs
for
to go for.
damages.
Well, we did use a lot of fuel coming here to take over this planet, and we'd like to be reimbursed for that.
He's gonna be working for the planet. It'll be fine. We needed
Okay.
to get out of there anyway.
Yeah, so he can keep his money then.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, everything worked out great except for anyone loyal to this guy.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well,
Their mistake, huh?
Well, so yeah, he, if you are amenable to his counter proposal, he will take he will take an ambassadorial position for Corden on the floating palace, and he will pack up his assets, and he can leave as early as tomorrow.
Awesome. Good work, team.
Yeah. That's a great nonviolent solution. We can ride back with him and ensure he doesn't go inside of his fortress and do anything. And then we would be, we should be fully decked out with all our toys, just to stand next to him as we go inside his fortress. If he's going to act up, it's a self-destructive act. If we're all geared up.
I think he'll obey. He'll be fine. Yeah.
So then the question is, so this red line that you had drawn on the map, this was your proposal for splitting Baron Halley's territory.
That's right.
If I remember correctly.
That's right. Yeah.
Baron Pharaoh wants to do that instead. He thinks
Is
that
Lux-
a more equitable split of Halley's territory between himself and Lux would be moving the line to there.
I kind of agree with him because Lux is getting another fortress. So, do they both agree, or is Lux gonna throw a fit?
Well, go ahead and make a persuasion check, Beth.
Okay. Persuade. Do it with +1. Okay. Sweet, 11. Oh, great.
That's really good. So, Lux is okay with that. Like you said, she agrees with you that she is getting another fortress out of this, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 towns. She is definitely coming out on top, whereas Pharaoh's only getting 2 additional new towns. And yeah, no, that definitely, that's okay with her.
Sweet. Everything worked out great.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you guys spend the rest of the afternoon signing. Does any of you have advocate?
Oh, yes, I do.
I do not.
Go ahead and make an advocate plus intellect or education check.
I definitely want to go with my education, and my advocate is 2, so I'll get +3 on this.
I think it's funny that your lawyer is wearing the battle dress.
That's because that's how well liked lawyers
That's
are.
how well liked lawyers are, right?
Yeah, we're not known for being good guys.
So yeah, Ting spends some time drafting up the legalese of the treaty. And
I would like to sneak in a 5% tribute to Drinax for all exports from the planet.
That isn't a bad idea. In fact, yeah, you can do that.
Hell yeah, I can.
So officially, and this is because of you drawing up this legal document, you have achieved something here that you have not achieved before. So all of the other planets that you've talked to and gotten to agree to joining the Kingdom of Drinax, even Tech World, those are all verbal agreements. That's not the case with Corden. Corden is now it is signed by Baroness Lux. It is signed by Baron Pharaoh, and they have an official ambassador in Baron Halley, and their signatures are on this treaty. Corden is now officially a province of Drinax. For the first time, this is an official thing. And they're paying a 5% tax to Drinax. This is the first steady income other than what you guys steal from everybody else that Drinax is going to get. And so part of this, and then the next question too is, so Drinax, and I should show you this map. Here on the main. Okay, so down here, you've got Drinax. There is a planet directly next to it called Asim. Now, you guys have heard a little bit about Asim before. Asim is it's considered a chattel world of Drinax, and Asim is a peculiar place. So, 20 some odd years ago, Asim was the location where Prince Herrick was almost burned to a crisp and blown up, and everybody thought he was dead. And lo and behold, he had somehow had some minor life signs. They threw him into a low berth and got him back to the Scholars Tower on the floating palace. and they have essentially built him better, stronger, and faster. He is the $6 million prince, and he. You looking at him, you guys have seen him a couple of times. You can't tell that anything ever happened. I mean, he was literally like, fourth degree burns over 90% of his body. He was a crispy critter, and you look at him now and you cannot tell. There's speculation around the court that Herrick may be more android than man. You're not sure, but he when he walks and when he does talk, he acts stiff, like like he's relearning his body. Not like he's relearning to walk. Like he's relearning his entire body. He very rarely says anything. You know, and very rarely do you actually see him. Usually, it's for a brief moment. Now, Asim, the reason for all of that situation was that Asim was basically a fiefdom of Drinax. Their deal was that they were the farm world and they provided all of the food for Drinax. And when Drinax's their royal gardens, which Drinax had turned into a botanical garden to grow their food, it basically got a form of blight, and they were, the floating palace was going to starve to death. And so King Oleb, or not King Oleb, Prince Herrick had sent message to Asim because Oleb was off-world on some great hunt. And so Herrick had sent a message to Asim saying, hey, we need you to supply us with food. And Asim is run by, I don't quite understand what it is, but they're run by a political agency called the Foundation. And the Foundation said, nah, sorry, we can't help you. And so, when Oleb got back, he ordered his son Herrick to lead a group of Starguard Marines to Asim and lay siege to the planet. And they were waylaid in the process, and Herrick was blown up. But they did. Herrick was nearly killed, but they did succeed in laying waste to much of Asim. And so, very similar to what you just did with Corden, Asim's deal was that they would leave the Foundation in charge, and the Foundation would send a representative to the floating palace, and they would re-elect a new representative every couple of years or whatever. That never happened. Oleb likes the current representative and is like, no, we don't care who you vote in. This is who we're keeping. And so this is potentially a very similar situation with Corden, except that I think Corden's getting a better deal out of this because they don't have to be beholden to the Imperium. So my question then is, okay, you're going to do 5% GDP back to Drinax. Are you going to have Corden supply any food to Drinax? Or are you going to focus that food effort for Tech World?
So does Drinax need it right now because the blight situation's still happening, or not?
Drinax can always use more food. Now, one of the deals with Drinax is that it's not just the floating palace. There are the Vespexers who live on the surface of their half-destroyed world, and the Vespexers receive supply drops from Drinax as well. And Oleb considers the Vespexers to be his people. He doesn't really have a whole lot of respect for them, but and they kind of get treated like shit. And I never quite understood that, but he does still consider them to be his responsibility and his people and part of his kingdom, and so he does do supply drops for them with food and some, medicines and things like that. So Drinax can always they're always on a very, very thin budget for supplies and food.
A regular shipment of some food to Drinax would help offset that, and it would also keep ships going back and forth to the system, which should promote more trade and everything else for both Corden and Drinax. I mean,
that's true.
So one option is that the food that comes from our territories within Corden could be partially apportioned for Drinax.
That's true.
Yeah, because we do have a third, and then the other 2/3 to tech.
sounds
Right?
great to me. Yeah, that should make everybody happy except for the Imperium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Imperium, I don't think the Imperium's going to care too much, because the reality is that their only interest is that Corden is a open and running starport and a safe location for them to refuel, for them to go move on to the Harate and to the Dust Belt. So, in that regard, you guys have achieved that as well. So the Imperium should be happy.
Nice.
Yeah, we could also approach the Imperium now as the planet is now part of our empire, and maybe with this and a couple of other systems, we could offer them safe, unpirated passage from one end to the other and get recognition for the kingdom.
You're going to run a protection racket.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's a good
Well,
idea.
So, yeah, you also have that deal on the table, and I don't remember who it was from. But there was a deal on the table. I think it was a corporate deal. Oh, it was for the Florian Trade Company.
Right.
That they're getting sick and tired of being hit by pirates. A lot of those are your guys, who your guys are now suspiciously, the pirate attacks have probably stopped because your guys are now patrolling, or the big ships are patrolling in Tech World. And so part of that deal was that they were going to offer you, like, it was something stupid, like 1 credit per ton, or no, it was 2 credits per ton of cargo that they could move unmolested up the Dust Belt. Which, you say 2 credits, that's not a lot, until you realize how big the Florian Trade Company is.
Yeah.
And you're talking about mega freighters, and so all of a sudden that becomes, one ship is like 65,000 credits. So there's that deal too. And that could be a similar thing. You could give a similar offer. I don't know that I'd really want to go to the Imperial Embassy and be like, oh, so we got this offer you can't refuse. I don't think that's probably going to go over too well.
Well, no, but we could approach them and go like, we understand that you're wanting to use our system here as the gateway to your trade with the Aslan Hirat. If you just a little recognition, goes a long way, and maybe a nominal fee to
Do you want to go to the embassy and suggest that?
Not what we're wanted, dude. Let's not do it right now. That's
Okay.
my
Again, I'm just brainstorming, but yeah, that's fine by me. We can build up a better. I think to really have any weight with it, we need more than just the entryway system. We need our systems to be able to give them a J2 or J1 would be better, but a nice route to get to where they're wanting to go trade. If we could do that and ensure pretty much safe passageway, that would give us a lot of bargaining power, I think. I mean, we've got Arcid, right?
You've got your what?
We've got Acrid, right?
Acrid.
Acrid. Acrid, I'm sure.
So potentially, and I mean, the only one you have firm, written in, you've got it in writing, is Corden. Acrid, Arunaseer, Tech World.
Maybe we should do all our boring bureaucratic shit while we're under the assumed identities and go get contracts signed.
Yeah.
Purple, Clark, Blue. Yeah,
we've got a pretty good swath of this area. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, once you get all of these guys, around a table in person, to hammer out the details, that's this pretty much this entire area is going to end up being the new kingdom of Drinax. You have potentially the world, I think, was talked about. And
let's go to the world right now.
and possibly fantasy, but I don't know how that's going to work out.
We can bring crayons for them to sign their contract with.
Yes, yeah, crayons, glue, and some macaroni, and they can come up with their own contract.
Why are you offering Rexar snacks to the contract?
So, so there are, you guys have a good swath of this, possibly nailed down. Go ahead and talk amongst yourself for just a moment. I will be right back.
Tech World is going to be the backbone of our. I mean, if we get Tech World lined up, that's our manufacturing high tech stuff right there.
Right. We could definitely become a military power of some level.
They've got doomsday. They have to.
Oh yeah. I think we should set up a conference.
Let's set it up at the World. I want to go. To the World.
We should do it more officially at Drinax, I think.
Will I ever get to mess with the World? It's been months.
We've got more reason to go to different places than just.
We could go always going to have a reason to go somewhere else. We're pretty nearby.
Yeah.
Although, I guess that might get us some attention, so
yes.
We'll have to wait. That's lame. All right, fine.
Maybe, we leave Corden, go to Acrid, and then, just head on around to all the way to Blue, Clark, Torpal, and tell them that we kind of request them to send their team to Drinax, and then we send message to Tech World, to go ahead and send some people over to Drinax, and we get everybody at the same table and iron it out. Make some good rolls on treaties, and we can have all of them paying 5% to Drinax.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah, we should organize. Do you think we should do it all at once, though? Should we do it all at once, or should we try to do it independently?
If they have any competing interests, then they have to discuss it together. So.
Yeah, I think doing it all at Drinax all at once would be beneficial.
Transparency builds trust. Just ask our government. Yeah.
Yeah, it's working great for them, right?
Yeah.
So you guys are planning. So you're going to go back to Drinax and send out messages to all these worlds to have them get representatives sent to Drinax so that you can formally start to hammer out these details. Is that your plan?
Yes, we want it on paper.
Yeah,
right?
We want it all on paper so we get our official skill point reward.
Right. Yes. So, and you guys are going to get skill points for this, or XP points for this, definitely. But we'll deal with that in but a moment. So, you guys, you get the details hammered out with Corden. Tech World should be happy. They're going to start getting food shipments. You've set up, fleet pickets of your some of your bigger pirate ships to basically safeguard Tech World. um, Oddly enough, piracy in the region has gone down a little bit, and, so you take the time, you go back to Drinax, and you kind of set this all up, and you send out these messages to these different worlds, um, and Rashondo is more than happy to help with this. Rashondo being the trader who is known on Drinax for being able to pretty much get anything. That's how Ox and Ting and Keith, I believe you got your battle dress. Yeah, he can go out and get almost anything. So the only thing left kind of open at this point is that you did have an offer. You had an offer from a captain, or you heard that there was an offer from a captain. And his name was Captain Val Treadwell on Asus.
Yes.
I may have to go
Right
back.
over next to number 1 and the other planets over there. You have on the belt.
Is it even on this map?
No, it's
it's on the other one.
Yeah, just north, I guess, if you want to call it that.
There it is. Right there. And so, basically, the news information that you're able to get from what is going on Asus is that so things on Asus is complicated. So the Halley chain group star systems, the Aslan Herate, all of this has recently been down in here. This is the Halley chain. All of this has recently been liberated from the Glorious Empire. Now, Rexar, of course, knows this because Rexar fought in some of those battles while he was away from the group, and which is part of how he got some of his territory. In fact, I believe he has territory on itself. Anyways, the clan that is in charge of that, and I don't know that it really matters that I look it up because I'm just going to slaughter the name anyways. Yeah, there's no way I can say that. Yasoithia clan. So here's the problem. So when they liberated all these worlds, they the Glorious Empire is big time slavers, and so the Aslan Herate came in, kicked the Glorious Empire off of these worlds, and they have all these human slaves that are left, and the problem with that being that the new, I guess the new honorable outlook of the Tlaku clans is that they don't keep slaves anymore. They don't find that is completely honorable, unlike the Glorious Empire, which follows the old ways. And so the question has been brought up with the between the Aslan clans of what to do with these slaves. One option was just exterminating them, and they that would seem a cruel solution, but it is gaining momentum in some circles of the Aslan. Because they've got all these slaves, and of course the Aslan, they want all this land. That's what their whole deal is. All these males want this land, and so the slaves are in their way of doing that. So there is the current mode that they're doing, and that is to resettle them, which has proven a bit problematic in and of itself. But you do know that ASIS is a kind of a stopover waypoint of where a lot of these refugee slaves are being dropped. And they can't stay on ASIS. ASIS won't support that kind of population. We're talking about a lot of slaves. So it's not going to support that kind of population. There's nowhere for these people to go. And there is a contract out by this Captain Val Treadwell, who is looking for a band of adventurous travelers to assist in relocating these people.
Ooh.
So,
So how many can we put on fantasy? Will they all fit? Or some? It's my favorite little experiment. I want more genetic diversity shoved in.
Yes, breed the dumb out of them.
yeah, I was wondering if there was already a destination planned, I guess, yeah.
Well, you'd have to talk to Captain Treadwell. So you would have to jump from Drinax to ASIS.
We are on Drinax now,
Yes.
so we all can have our big party and award ceremony for our very expensive medals.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. So, yeah.
I spent 26 grand on
So,
two medals.
Yes, you can have your award ceremony for your medals. And you also can immediately take, each of you can take 2 XP to spend on skills as you would like.
I need to get better at piloting, I'm sure. Or shit, I'm pretty good actually.
Just remember, you can't really raise anything above 4, but I don't think I don't think 2 points is going to be enough for you to do that. But yeah, anything better for piloting is always good. Piloting and astrogation are definitely winners.
Do we have an astrogation person currently without Ching
It used
Shi?
to be Ching Shi, but
I'll take my 2 points and I will end up with astrogation 1.
there you go.
Actually, are you sure you want to do that? Because I have astrogation 2, and
Then no, I don't want to do that.
yeah, and I have that chip that lets me get a +1 to all math stuff. So
That's right.
really,
You've got an expert chip.
yeah.
I think I want to try and do some tactics. Learn some tactics. Maybe.
That sounds like a really good choice.
That's a
'Cause I don't
really good idea.
And she had tactics military.
It was naval.
Naval's the one that you want, especially for ship combat.
So I think I can raise it to 1 with 2 points. I believe.
Yeah, it'd be
That's
1
not-
point to go to 0 and 1 point to go to 1.
Okay, so I have tactics, naval, 1. Okay.
Okay.
Is Ching Shi's story going to be that she'll live with her girlfriend, the princess?
I haven't quite worked out that situation. I haven't heard back from her on what her future scheduling plan is going to look like. But it's a possibility that you might want to be making a consideration of who you want your first mate pro temp to be, until she can make a comeback. So I don't know if you want to pick a new first officer or.
They're gonna go in a cage match. And first mate.
I like this idea.
I'm going to up my recon to 2. From 1 to 2.
Good call. I always use my recon.
I'm going to up my deception to 2.
Ooh.
That's always a good thing to have for
Nice.
pirates is deception.
Yeah. I
I
got
think
all
I'm,
those
I'm
cool.
gonna take Streetwise from 1 to 2.
That's a good idea too.
Thank you. We don't have nearly enough streetwise for pirates. We're kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
Not
I've got a
nearly,
1 in Streetwise. I
not
loaded
nearly
up
as
on
bad
a
as when
lot
we
of.
first started a couple of years ago, man.
Mhm.
You guys were all so nice and innocent.
Yeah, that's true.
I kind of polluted the purity level when I joined the party. Ox didn't really help much either with his gambling ass.
Well, that made us better pirates, so that was good. A good thing.
Oh,
Definitely.
We definitely took the morality clause out of all of our thinking.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So now we kidnap people like proper pirates, ransom folks. It's a wholesome thing.
Of course. So to jump from Drinax to Asus, you're looking at probably around 7 weeks.
Before we go to Asus, we're going to go through number 1 to get to Asus.
Oh, okay.
And I want to stop at my gas station
Oh, yeah?
and see how.
That's right. So, and yeah, that actually fits exactly with the route that I had planned. So, yeah, you can stop at number 1. And what are you looking? I mean, first of all, you get free gas there, so you can refuel. And then what else were you looking to do with your little fuel depot?
I just want to check in on it, make sure it's operating smoothly. If there's anything I need to do to it, maybe pick up any cash that there might be for me.
Yeah. So, does anybody have admin?
I do have admin.
Wow.
Go ahead and make an admin plus intellect or education check.
Okay. Nine.
Okay. So, yeah, there's some cash for you to pick up. It's been a while since you've been here.
Yes.
But the business has been running fairly well. And when I say that there is some cash for you to pick up, they have pulled a profit. It's been almost a year since the last time you were at number 1. Yeah, there is a profit sitting there of 90,000 credits.
All right.
Cool.
Okay, so I believe that I need to split this with Qingxi.
You could. I don't think that she would mind if you didn't. If you wanted to split it with the ship fund or however you want to do it.
Okay, I will split with the ship fund. I think that's a wise choice.
So you're gonna add 45K to the ship fund?
For 50.
450. Oh, okay, great. Wow. Nice. Okay, let me do some math.
Yeah, your little fuel outpost has become quite popular with the smaller trade crews that are moving up and down the Dust Belt. So, yeah, it's pulling a fairly generous profit.
Nice.
I think this weekend I'm going to reprint my sheet so it looks nice.
That is a good idea.
It's beaten up.
Yeah, after 2 years, I imagine it is got a lot of eraser marks and scribbles and.
Yeah.
I mean, Mongoose, if you're paying attention to this, I really, really wish you would come out with a form fillable that works for update 2022, because the one that you have up there does not work. the font is all screwed up, and it would be nice to be able to just type this stuff in and hit print, or have it as a PDF, and yeah, it can't do that right now.
Can number 1 take refugees?
That's a really good question.
To work at a gas station.
Well, I mean, we can do other things here. We can have, fighting exhibitions and stuff like a WWE
You
type
just
thing.
take all these poor ex-slaves and put them into a pit fighting. I mean,
Well, no,
you guys
just
are,
the healthy
you guys
ones.
are great. Well, you're gonna have to talk with Captain Treadwell and see. Like I said, I think you're underestimating exactly how many refugees you're talking here. So yeah, you stop at number 1, and you get to Ace's Highport, and whoever wants to make a streetwise plus intellect check can do so.
That's Ox, right?
Yeah, I think Ox is our
Yep.
streetwise guy.
And that says 10.
That's pretty good. So Ox has really no problem moving around this high port. You guys are. It's a fairly. It's not a bad high port. I mean, it's class B, and so it's fairly large. Coming in, the first thing that you notice is that there is a lot of traffic coming in and out. And as you're coming into dock, you actually have to wait for a berth to be available. So, and I'm assuming you guys are still on shenanigans. Is that the safe assumption? Yeah. Yeah, you actually have to wait in a holding pattern for a berth to become available. The thing that is so noticeable about this is that a lot of these ships are Aslan freighters. And so you finally do get a berth and you dock, and Ox moves around the starport bars and through the seedier sections, and he gets a lead on Captain Treadwell. And you guys meet up with him in a small little dive bar on the high port. And so he fills you in a little bit here. He says that he has a job, that he's been talking to your man Ox here. I think that the way he's made it sound to me is that you would be a good crew. It seems that you have some piloting ability. He says that you're no slouch in a fight, and you've got an Aslan traveling with you, so that might be of assistance. And he says that he needs a crew for his ship. It is a modified 600-ton Aslan clan transport, and it's going to be used to transport hundreds of refugees from the world of Hitikia down here, which is where their biggest problem is. And it says, to an as yet undetermined sanctuary world. He says, now I can assure you the majority of the passengers will all be in cold sleep, so they'll be in low berths, so you don't have to deal with them. And you don't have to worry about day-to-day management or making meals and things like that. You'll be paid standard crew salaries for the duration of the voyage, but you'll also receive a bonus upon completion. So once they all get to wherever it is that we're going to take them, you can select. You can get 5 ship shares. You can get a weapon for a ship that you already own. Basically 2 turrets worth of armaments that he will pay for, and you can choose a vehicle or small craft with a maximum value of 5 mega credits.
Dang. All right.
He says,
Tech World is very underpopulated. It's populated by a bunch of fucking robots, basically.
That's true. And he says that that bonus is going to be provided by, oh boy, here we go. The Eutakio clan lord of the planet Hitikia. As an Aslan, he does not think in terms of raw cash. He wants to give you something that that you will truly need for completing this honorable task. And basically is the Utekio, or the clan lord of Hitikia that has hired him to do this. And so the clan lord is going to be passing this on to you guys. He says, in addition to salaries and bonus, I will point out that knowledge that you gain about the region will enable you to obtain additional wealth and fame should you desire it. Trade between...
Is he?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
Is he against stocking us up on nuclear missiles?
He may not be. No, I mean he's an Aslan clan lord. He could probably make that happen if you wanted to. If you wanted to get 2 rack loads, so 24 nuclear missiles in lieu of 2 turrets worth of armaments, he could make that happen.
That was one of our needs that we needed for the Harrier, was we needed to restock our nuclear armaments.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for peace.
For for peace.
This is a lot of really good stuff. So I do
Yeah.
want to know like exactly how many people we're resettling and we don't know where.
So yeah, he basically tells you that trade between the Harriet and Deathspell is growing rapidly, and the first players to the game are likely the ones to make a large financial killing. So there may be some future trade possibilities for you in this as well, that you're going to be getting your foot in on the opening door. We just have to take care of this refugee situation first. He says the ship's in good working order. It has been modified so human crews can operate it without difficulty. The clan lord has declared that all humans in the Hitikia system shall be deported, and has generously provided a ship for the express purpose of taking them wherever they want to go. He says this voyage is you're being hired to make is expected to be the first of several. And he says that the clan lord and probably the refugees themselves don't quite know where they're going to go or what to expect. He says nothing like this has been attempted before, and it will require a brave crew. So there could be problems, which, again, Ox has told me that you guys are troubleshooters, so to speak. If you're willing to take the job, I can offer you middle passage aboard an Iakau class trader that belongs to an Aslan friend of mine, or you could take your own ship. That's fine. Should you? He says that once you get to Hitikia, I can promise you that your ship will be mothballed. It'll be put into storage, and they have a excellent Class B starport, and you don't have or Class B downport. You don't have to worry about shenanigans while you're on this cruise.
If we park Shenanigans there, we could ask Shenanigans to go ahead and monitor the radio traffic and try to, get intel on what's going on here. I mean, I don't know if it would pay off or nothing, but
definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
Everybody make a recon plus intellect check.
$11.
Okay.
8.
Rexar got also 8.
Okay.
If Rexar is allowed to add the smell bonus, I mean.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Definitely. What about is Beth and Keith still with us? I wonder if they dropped. Well, we can keep going. Hopefully they'll pop back in. So Rexar, yeah, with your smell bonus, you get a perfume kind of scent. Obviously female, but you get this perfume scent that you're not used to. And all of you notice that there is a woman. She is quite well dressed, and there is like this. She has this guy next to her that's a little bit shorter than she is. Kind of looks scrappy. And they seem to have taken notice of your conversation. And she, when you guys turn around and look at her, she says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. And I mean, I would say that I wasn't eavesdropping, but I am eavesdropping a little bit." She goes, "Let me introduce myself. My name is Yana Teak. I'm a journalist for Traveler News Service. You guys have seen her name in headlines before. She is a very fairly famous Traveler News Service investigative journalist here in the Trojan Reach." And so she introduces herself, and she tells you, she says, I've heard rumblings from my contacts in the hair rate that an operation is afoot. With your permission, I would like to cover your voyage for Traveler News Service.
Does anybody else like hate journalists?
Well, I mean,
It's like Mass Effect. We have to punch the reporter every game.
yeah, is she willing to submit her stories and writings of us to Captain Beth before releasing them for approval?
I wouldn't trust that anyway. I would still not trust that.
She says, well, I can certainly give you editorial license. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how secretive you guys are, or I don't know anything about your backgrounds, but I mean, if there's stuff that you don't want me to air, I can certainly do my best to cover that up, because as far as I'm concerned, you're sources, so I'm not going to give away my sources.
Okay, on the other hand, we could make Drinax and like us look really good.
Yeah, we could.
That's the other side. And we are doing like a nice thing for once. Maybe we should invite the journalists like when we're not murder or hoboing.
Yeah, we just have to be on our best behavior.
And if we're not, we can just kill her.
Sure.
Right. I mean, she's not very big. She'll fit in an airlock.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, that's my vote then. I guess you can come along.
She thanks you profusely. She's like, the people of the Dust Belt and the people in the Imperium need to know that this is happening. You get the feeling that she's kind of a smooth operator, and that she can kind of butter people up if she wants to. And she might be able, if she's moving along with you, might be able to get doors open that you might not otherwise be able to. But she tells you that she's willing to help in whatever way that you need. And she introduces you to the scrappy guy next to her. That's Nendo, her holographer. Basically, that's her cameraman. And he basically will covertly trail you guys into the hair rate, and he'll stay out of your way, but he'll try to get as much on camera as possible so that they can generate the best story that they can. So she thanks you profusely, and really likes the plan here. So then the question is, are you guys going to take him up on his offer? Or are you going to take your own ship to Hatikia, put it in in mothballs at the downport, and move on from there? Or do you want to take passage on his ship?
I think that since the ship is already set up to take all the people, that seems like a good reason.
No, we're talking about getting to the ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you're on Asus, where he's doing his hiring. You need to get to Hatikia, and then.
I like our ship.
I like our ship too, but it will take a lot longer, I think, than if we take his ship. I don't know if that's true, actually.
Well, then what I was thinking also is if we bring our ship there and then we take this mission or whatever, we're kind of locked into coming back here to pick
Right.
up our ship. And if we leave our ship in a safer location and take passage, then we're not necessarily locked into coming back here. Maybe we could work our business remotely and get. I'm not sure if we have to come back to pick up our reward or not. But
That's true. Well,
I think since we want to have a trade arrangement with this place, that we're probably in a good position to just go there.
okay,
yeah. I mean, you're fine to just go there. I mean, if you are working with Captain Treadwell, then you are essentially, while on Hatikia, will be considered guests of the clan lord.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
then yeah, bringing Shenanigans here then and asking Shenanigans to monitor the communications and stuff going around to get information on just what exactly is going on here or possible opportunities. That'd be a great bit of information for several weeks of eavesdropping, and it would give Shenanigans something to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
So who would like to make an astrogation check?
I will take that.
Now that there's more of a possibility of missed jumps.
All right.
And of course, you can take your time on that and give you a +2 bonus. You don't have to rush your
Cool.
astrogation check.
Yeah. So that gives me a 13.
Okay. Okay. So, who wants to make a? I guess you would then go ahead and make the J drive plus intellect check, and you get a
Mhm.
+5 to that.
Okay. Uh, 13.
All right. So no chance of miss jump. You guys basically, and I'm only going to make you make one jump because there's just no point. 7 weeks later, you arrive on Hatikia. Beth, you can make a piloting plus dex check to land at their starport. Now, the one problem, all of the communications that are coming in from Starport Control are all in Aslan. So
Alright.
maybe Rexar should be on the comms.
Well, I also have a translation software.
Oh, that's right.
But I get land bonus to my negotiations.
That is true, and you don't really have to worry about being, wanted by the Imperium since you're in the Herate.
Got an 8 on my check.
Okay. So between Rexar, Ting, and Beth, you guys are able to make out where to land, and you do find this is actually a fairly nice, like he said, it's a fairly nice, secure Class B starport. You dock, and Shenanigans is moved into a kind of a holding port. Courtesy of the clan head, the Aslan Co. of this world. And Hatikia itself is kind of a craggy, cracked, dry world. The majority of its water is locked in polar ice caps. And it coming off of these ice caps are these long tendril-like seas that kind of stretch out around the globe. From orbit, the predominant colors of the world are rusty orange, sharply contrasted with dark grays and browns along the mountain ranges. So you are now at the site, And I think we're going to break here, and because I didn't expect you guys to get quite this far. I thought you were going to try and blow up that other Baron. And so I will generate some maps and some images, and we will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock, and with you guys running Exodus.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Good work,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys did an awesome job, and I like that you're moving forward with getting everybody to the table at Drinax and kind of solidifying that power base. And you guys
And
are
the big meeting is going to strategically happen right when we get done with this.
probably not that soon, but it is coming. And I mean, it also is going to give you the chance to get a couple of more planets along the way. But I will tell you, there is something big coming, and I am going to have to generate some Imperial naval characters for you to temporarily run, and you'll see why when that happens. You're going to get to see what's going on from the other side. But that is coming, and I said this last year, and I thought we'd be further along than we are now. But yeah, so that is coming. So you guys will be actually running 2 characters. If you guys want to generate those characters yourself, you can. I was just going to make up some naval characters and hand them to you guys, but feel free to make some naval characters if you'd like. I would recommend, if you're going to do that, I would just use the Traveler Companion and just use like the Naval Career package and just do a package base, because it'll take you like 5 minutes to generate a character. So.
Cool. Good
All
call.
right. So I will see you guys next week at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you. It was very fun.
Yep.
Thanks.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.